an event called Transform You. And this man has a heart of gold. He has overcome so much. He's now an 8-figure entrepreneur. He's a podcast host. I call him King of Unstoppable. He's got his show's called The Unstoppable Show. So I call him up and I said, Stephen, I have an idea. I said, I'd really like to do an event at your place. He's like, okay, what do you want to call it? I'm like, how about Unstoppable Success Summit? He's like, okay, let's do it. He has helped me every step of the way. I told y'all I didn't own a computer 6 years ago. Well, imagine when he's like, well, Amberly, do you have ActiveCampaign? I'm like, no, I got MailChimp. Isn't that good enough? I go, no, you need ActiveCampaign. I'm like, well, I don't know how to do ActiveCampaign. I'm like, he has helped me. He has all my passwords, my credit card. He's in my Stripe. I mean, this man is amazing. He's brilliant. He has been running things back and forth, plus now getting ready to come and speak. Y'all are going to be blown away by his heart. So without further ado, y'all go ahead, stand up, get on your feet, because you are going to love this man. Stephen Scoggins! Come on out here. I love you, brother.
Thank you so much.
And he's carrying a brick. Is that what you dropped back there?
All right. So, it's funny when you start doing stuff like this. You call audibles on a regular basis. You say, hey, I'm going to have 18 slides, and I'm going to give them this one really mic drop moment, and then all the other amazing speakers get in front of you. You're like, oh my gosh. First of all, how am I going to follow that up? 1. 2, I'm back there taking notes as quick as I can. And 3, it's like the stories are so similar. The stories are so similar, so much adversity, but yet so much achievement. And so you're going through all this, and I'm watching all these people, and I'm watching the smiles, and of course there's 1,000 different things right now going on behind the scenes, right? Our production team is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much. What Amberly didn't tell you, and I'm just going to be out. Transform You, the event she just disclosed, was an event that was 5 years in the making. The first time we did Transform You was 2017. The night before, I found out my entire executive team had planned and executed a very large-scale embezzlement. And yet I stood on stage, gave my heart for 3 days, went back into my business, and began building my business again. On top of that, this last 2021, when Amberly was here, we had everything set up. We had the landing pages were done, our automations were done, and then it all fell apart. And then my wife, on a Saturday morning, I was going to go clean the pool patio off. On a Saturday morning, she gets up, not thinking anything about it, I'm excited. I'm going to go make a cappuccino. Those little cappuccino machines. Oh, a cappuccino. Go get a little cappuccino machine, get the little frothy thing, try to design the heart that, ends up being like a puddle by the time you actually take it to the person you want to take it to. And she proceeds to tell me she's leaving me. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And I'm thankful to say, obviously, she's returned and we're doing great. But trying to figure out what in the world was going on. And it came down to identity. It came down to some level of fear. It comes down to some level of adversity. And one of the things that I've realized over the course of the last 25 years, trying to build my own life, trying to build multiple businesses, trying to be a great leader, and try to pour into people, is this essence of understanding that all of us face challenge. What I've discovered is the decisions that are different that determine the destiny that surrounds it. So to me, becoming unstoppable is not a destination, it's a lifestyle. Amberly, I decided to let my speaker team know at the time, because I had several A-list speakers, including Amberly and others that were scheduled to be at this event. I decided to record a Zoom, Loom, Zoom video or whatever, and say, hey guys, here's exactly what's going on. I know I promised you this massive audience. My funnels are all broken. My stuff's all broken. I don't know what to do. And by the way, I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't know what's going on in my marriage. I don't even know, like this, to me, I felt like it was out of the blue. Amberly was one of the first people to pick up the proverbial phone. You know, we do more Zooms than anything else because we love each other so much. And I remember I was driving back from Fayetteville, and she picks up the thing, and we hop on a quick call. And she says, Stephen, one or none, I'm coming. I got you. And this time, challenges arose. It's been a fight. Amberly's mentioned it, right? She's mentioned the things that she's been facing. She's mentioned all the parts and pieces. And I was able to say, I got you. I got you. Right? So I want to break into what I think is unstoppable. A lot of folks, when they hear that word, they think it's a sugary word. It's a pie in the sky word. Does it really have meaning? Does it really have purpose? Does it really have something tangible that I can utilize and for my own benefit, for my own business, my relationships? Like, what is it? And what I want to do is I'm going to take you back just a quick second to take you forward, if that's all right. We had a situation, if I get the thing here, and gosh, I think I was probably 17 years old. My father had just lost his business. And I remember this comment like it was yesterday. He said, Stephen, Scoggins don't get ahead, they get by. So I ask you, is there a life lie that has been spoken over you that you've chosen to believe for yourself? And if so, are you willing to throw that life lie away? This man was my life change agent. I call him Old Man Myrick. Old Man Myrick was my father's employer. Old Man Myrick saw me working hard. Old Man Myrick saw me carrying all the lumber and doing all the things that I would do in a construction, company and doing all those things. And yet for some reason, he would pull me down off this framing crew that I was doing with my dad. He would pull me down off of it and put me in this old beat-up Jeep Grand Cherokee with a big old dent in the back because he was forever backing into stuff. The guy had like zero eyesight, apparently. And he gave me this opportunity, and he said, Stephen, I got a question for you. I'm like, what's that question? He said, what's the difference between a rich man and a poor man? I was like, money, duh. Everybody knows a rich person got money, poor people ain't got no money. He said, absolutely not. It's the way they think. A wealthy person invests continually in all that they have, in every way that they have. They invest in healthy relationships. They invest in healthy resources. They look for an ROI surrounding the entirety of their life on a consistent basis, funneled through the arm of service. The most successful people I know on the planet are not the richest people in dollars. The most successful people on the planet that I know are making the most impact, and it just so happens they get rewarded with dollars. Who'd have thunk it? The next question really cut my heart. The next question was very simple. He said, Stephen, do you want to learn to think like me, or do you want to continue thinking like your father? Son. Ooh, that stung. Steve gave me a second chance. I didn't deserve it. In that same first chance he gave me, I went and made a bunch of money for him. I was 19 years old, and I went and blew every penny of it. I got involved in a toxic relationship because I thought I could find my identity in the arms of another, or I could find my purpose or significance in the arms of another. And I spent the first half of my life chasing stuff, thinking that the thing that I was chasing was somehow going to validate the thing that I was. The thing that you are has nothing to do with the things that you have. The things that you are the gifts, talents, strengths, and I call it God, you can call it whatever you want, that says you are worth it. And for me, the greatest struggle I have ever had in building businesses, building teams, building relationships, trying to be just an all-around good dude. At the heart of it, even when I started speaking, you know what the number one question is? Worth. I was talking to a good friend of mine named Rory Vaden on a podcast not that long ago. And he said, what do you think is at the heart of why it took you so long to, because at first I wanted my business to be the brand. I didn't want to have anything to do with being on stage. I didn't want to have anything to do with being like a figurehead or social media or whatever. My team will tell you right now, I absolutely suck at doing Instagram lives. One, I get so busy that I forget to do it. Two, I always feel awkward. I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Like, seriously, he's like, well, just take one of your quotes. You talking fortune cookie, may as well just, Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Right? Anyway, so he and I were talking, and he, you got the, you've got a little bit of the understanding of trying to make sure that you feel seen, valued, and heard. We all want to feel seen, valued, and heard. The problem is we all expect to be seen, valued, and heard without actually giving seen, valued, and heard to other people. I've discovered that when you make somebody else feel seen, valued, and heard, all of a sudden your resonance, your vibration, if you will, it raises on its own. Rory asked me this question. He said, what do you think is at the heart of it? And something for the first time, it was an epiphany for me just as much as it was for him. He said, what do you think your greatest life lie is? Am I worthy of a voice? Let me ask you this. Whether it's in a boardroom, whether it's in the home, whether it's on stage, have you ever faced that? Am I worthy of a voice? Now, let me ask you another question. How are you answering that question? You see, you can live by your past, you can focus on your present, or you can become the essence of your potential. The choice is ultimately yours. This man, Mr. Myrick, used to tell me all the time, you thought I talking fortune cookie? This guy was insane. Always pouring into me, always helping me. And so when people ask me, how did you go from homelessness to where you are today? I would say that homelessness was very easy. I was arrogant, I was prideful, and I was ignorant. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know I was causing my own dilemma. I was causing my own pain. I was causing my own choices based on the direction that I had in that moment. So stuck to me is nothing more than not making progress. You know what the best part about not making progress is? You can choose a different way. It's a choice. It's not a consistent. Unstoppable, on the other hand, is consistently making progress, especially when you don't want to. Especially when you don't want to. So I'm going to cover a couple different things because this caused this. Every single successful person I know that beats the odds continually, outside of not just having resilience, outside of not just having faith, always is operating from a set of tools. Whether it's a screwdriver, whether it's a hammer, whether it's you on Instagram, whether it's you building your own landing pages. I'm weird. I build my businesses from the inside out. I don't know any other way. I'm a GED kid. That's the extent of my education because I was forced at a young age to get my butt out there and work to help my family who was having a hard time helping themselves. These tools are the secret to becoming unstoppable. One of the ways in which I actually see that more than anything else, for me, is called principles. One of the things that Steve used to say, oops, let's go backwards. We'll just miss that. I'll just tell you this. One of the things that Steve used to say all the time, he said, principles govern promises. In other words, you want to promise to have a beautiful marriage. Fantastic. There are principles to get there. You want a better business. Great. There are principles to get you there. So I'm going to cover 3 specific principles in the short time we've got left. I'm going to try to use demonstrations and illustrations so you fully appreciate and understand it. The first one is the principle of leverage. Leverage makes everything easier. I don't mean borrowing money necessarily. I mean the creation of additional friction and lift. Additional friction and lift. For example, let's go over here to this little demonstration section we got right here. I could come over here the entire time, and I can yank on this nail until I'm blue in the face. This nail can represent I'm building my first business. This nail can represent I just had another failed relationship and I can't figure out why the heck the thing is failing. It could represent the simple fact that my identity is somehow wrapped up in stuff it shouldn't be, or I don't even know who I am. You know, the 3 greatest questions in life you'll ever ask yourself are 1, who am I? 2, why am I here? And the third one is the most powerful, which is what I do about it. I know what mine is. Mine is to go out and be Steve Myrick to as many people as I possibly can. You are the leverage. But in order for you to actually use the leverage, you first have to become the leverage. Leverage is easier when it's done with a tool. When Amberly said, hey, I got this dream about this event, I'm like, tell me more. I want to hear your dream. You know what's funny? She didn't talk about the lights. She didn't talk about the cameras. She didn't talk about the music. We didn't talk about active campaign and automations. You know what she talked about? Awakening. I work with these women all the time and they're so gifted and so many of them don't see it. They don't understand it for themselves. I got to find a way to do something so they can see it for themselves. I got to get it that way. And she would pour out her heart. I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. And then she would call out to me. She said, hey, are you interested in helping me with this event? I said, absolutely. Let's do this thing together. On top of that, we've faced a variety of challenges just pulling this together in a correct way so you guys can have a massive and enjoyable experience. By the way, are you guys having a good time? Awesome. Good. When we did this, that joint venture, that partnership, that meeting of the minds, aka the mastermind. The mastermind is always formed by the unity of many minds. Because many minds have many gifts, many strengths, many talents. So whatever you're lacking in, someone else has. We started putting this thing together. That's leverage. You start looking at you focus so much on the things you don't have and the things that aren't working and all this kind of stuff. What's going to happen is you're going to get stuck there. You're going to continue to experience it. I'm a big believer. All right, so I will tell you just flat out, I love Jesus and I also believe in energy. I'm weird. I don't know why, but when I see scripture, I see energy. I see source. I see soul. I see gifts. I see talents. I see resources. I see all of it. And because of that, it shapes that bond. So which means I also believe in vibration. They have already scientifically proven that you actually have an electromagnetic signature around your body. If we were to put you under certain light, you would actually see this little quarter-inch well, sometimes it's blue, and sometimes it's orange, and sometimes it's a host of different colors, but the reality is it's present. It's life force. The problem is you can't raise your vibration if you're so focused on your vices. If you're so focused on the things that are in your way, it's going to be impossible for you to become the thing that attracts the thing that you ultimately want. And I'm telling you that from personal experience. Guys, I have been my worst enemy over and over and over again, consistently, continually, on a regular basis. And then I've had to stop myself. We've had all kinds of things going on behind the scenes. You saw me with a headset running around the building. You saw me with a microphone checking everybody in, all this kind of stuff. I love all that. I love helping because I know what this event's going to do for you. But when I was doing that, I was also thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget everything I was going to say. And you know what I did? I legitimately threw away all my slides. I said the heck with it. Because if I'm going to trust in source, then I'm going to experience it if I take away the crutch. And I pray right now that something I'm saying is resonate with your soul. I have the same goal Amberly does. We were joking around. So, well, if you're Mrs. Unstoppable, I guess that makes me Mr. Unstoppable. Right? That joke is because we don't know how to quit. We just don't. I have tried. I got people in this room right now from my team that I have called in tears. I want to throw in the towel. I don't want to do this anymore. This is too hard. The vision's too big. Oh, heck no. We got you, baby. Leverage. Your relationships will always be your strongest point of leverage. Always be your strongest point of leverage. If you don't have them, you will be isolated. If you are isolated, there's no possible way you are going to break free from pride, ignorance, and arrogance. If it's all about you, it'll never be about them. And some of us get so lost in all about them that we forget to do all about us. The trick is getting to the place where you have a continual growth pattern, and the best way to do that is through a mastermind style organization. I have coaches, I got business coaches, I have life coaches, I got people that talk to me about things that you wouldn't believe. I'm having the world's best conversation right now with John Gordon. He and I did a podcast. He's got a brand new book coming out. I was super stoked about it. And we started talking about vibration and Jesus and how we, like, I was like, oh, I got somebody to talk to about this. I've been trying to figure out how to bridge this gap. I'm really confused. We had the best time. Relationship leverage. The next principle I want to share with you is a bit more, well, interesting. You know, I'm a construction guy. And I apologize about the microphone, folks. I move a lot. But I had this interesting epiphany one afternoon. When I go back and I look at all the different times that my life has not been what I want it to do, I've discovered that 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm distracted. I'm a big believer that if you can eliminate distraction, you can do anything. However, if you are continually distracted, you will absolutely do nothing. The average American wastes 4 hours a day doing stuff that's completely unproductive. Imagine if you just took 2 of those hours and read a new book, got on a new mastermind call, went to a new event, did something for yourself to continually grow yourself, the opportunities that would then come to you. Think about that. How much time do you spend scrolling? How much time do you spend watching CNN or Fox or whatever your news station is? How much time are you spending in, I don't know, gosh, my wife's big into design shows. Like she can actually give Joanna Gaines a run for her money. Like she's that good. The problem is every time I come home, I have to look around the house to see what's changed. Distractions will always lead to destruction. So principle number 1 is to create leverage. Then principle number 2 is to create focus. The easiest way I know how to help you understand what focus is basically to kind of give you a little demonstration. So here's how I look at it. My dog got sick. I lost my job. My relationship fell apart. I spent too much time on social media. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know where I'm at, who I'm called to be. The problem is you're so focused on the distraction, you're forgetting that focus doesn't take much. Same spot every time. Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, the one thing, if you could take one thing away from anything that I say this week, this is what I would ask you to take. I want you to go back and I want you to look at your life, your business, your relationships, and I want you to really take a hardcore look at it. And I want you to really say, am I really committed to my ultimate potential? Seriously, am I really committed? Because if you're really committed, you can't be really distracted. You can focus all your energy in the same place at the same time consistently over time. I got a 21-year-old son who's beautifully married. It's the one time in the miracle that I would actually say, yes, you can get married that young. I'm just being serious. But they are soulmates, and I'm super psyched about it. Here's the thing. As much as I love my son, he won't put in the 24 months. What if you committed right now for 24 months straight, 24 months unbiased focus? Boom, 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 boom. My dream, 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 my dream. What if? Ladies and gentlemen, this building is that dream. We worked for 2.5 years, myself, in the ceilings, running the cables you see above your head. How can we make the experience better? We're going to add a virtual component that's going to blow people's mind. How are we going to stay engaged? Well, we're going to make sure that there's enough lighting where the audience can be seen. We can feel valued. They can feel valued. We can stay connected. We're going to have something massive. When we get done with this event, my entire team will sit down and we're going to do a breakout. Hey, what happened? What worked? What didn't work? Where are we going? Because we want unbiased focus consistently. Okay? All right. The third principle, and honestly, I really can't add to it. John did such an amazing job with it, is energy. Energy. Energy is connected to focus. Energy is connected to focus. You see, I've discovered a long time ago that you control how you think and how you feel on a regular basis. Stand up out of your chairs for a second. Come on, let's go. All right. Whatever your energy state is right now, whatever it is 1:16. I have 4 minutes left. Whatever your energy, we're going to try to raise it by 3 octaves. You ready? Repeat after me. I am unstoppable. Again, I am unstoppable. I am unstoppable. How do you feel? I want you to really focus in on something very, very powerful. It's super duper important. I need your emotional energy to always be congruent with your aspirational identity. Your emotional energy always has to be congruent with your aspirational identity, not who you are, who you desire to become. Otherwise, when active campaign doesn't work, or someone leaves unexpectedly, or something falls apart, the wheel falls off the bus, you have to change a flat tire in the rain, all of a sudden you're off track. But as long as your emotional energy will reach your aspirational identity, I'm telling you, 24 months, focus, leverage, go get them. I believe in you, become unstoppable.